Hello, hello. I am back to help you do this thing called life. We've been talking about Jesus, his temptations, his emotions, everything that made him human, just like we are. And we are given more and more opportunities, I guess, to see him as a man the closer he gets to the cross. Because, well, you'll see. As we continue to go, you'll see. Um, we stopped yesterday at he was being questioned by the chief priest. So many people had come and made false accusations against him. They were lying and they were caught in their lies. One person's lie would discredit the other person's lie, and it was just endless. And finally, the chief priest, I mean, they didn't have anything on him. And finally, the chief priest asked Jesus, what he had to say for himself. And Jesus was silent because he said, this is verse 60. We're around verse 60, 61 of Mark 14. And it says, in the middle of this, the chief priest stood up and asked Jesus, what do you have to say to the accusation? Jesus was silent. He said nothing. The chief priest tried again, this time asking, are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed? Jesus said, and this is Message version. Jesus said, yes, I am, and you'll see it yourself. The Son of Man seated at the right hand of the Mighty One, arriving on the clouds of heaven. And so we see that when it came to lies, Jesus wasn't even trying to defend no lie. He was not trying to defend himself against what they had said. He wasn't up for the foolishness. But then when they asked him, are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed? Oh, he had something to say then because he knew who he was. He did not have to downplay or discredit liars, but he was all about speaking the truth. And so verse 63 then says, the chief priest lost his temper. Ripping his clothes, he yelled, did you hear that? After that, do we need witnesses? You heard the blasphemy. Are you going to stand for it? They condemned him, one and all. The sentence, death. Some of them started spitting at him. They blindfolded his eyes, then hit him, saying, who hit you? Prophesy. The guards, punching and slapping, took him away. Y'all talk about restraint. All it took was for one word, and there would have been a host of angels. One word, and everyone could have been struck dead. One word, and everything would have turned out differently. He could have called anything down. He could have stopped it. But if he had not submitted to being sentenced to death, if he had not submitted to being spat upon and hit and taunted, like he was the word. And they're telling him, oh, and he is it. He was all of it. Prophet, priest, king, he was all of it. But they're like, who hit you? Blindfolded him and then just taunting him. Who hit you? If you're such a prophet, if you all tell us who hit you. Y'all, he could have, but he didn't. For my sake and for your sake, he didn't. He hadn't said a word before. Now he spoke who he was, but he didn't even defend himself. He didn't fight back. He didn't fight back. Because if he had not received that sentence of death, we would have had to pay with death. But because he was willing to pay with death, we are able to have eternal life. And I'm oh so grateful. So again, we see his humanity. He could have stepped into his godness and it would have been over. But as a man, he submitted. And because he submitted, because he was willing to take the ridicule and the blows, he did it for us. so that we can live and live life more abundantly. So, for no other reason, we owe it to him because he gave his life for us. This has been One More Minute with Marcy. I'll be back tomorrow with another moment of momentum producing motivation. Until then, stay encouraged and remember you gotta flutter before you can fly. But flying is in your future. Love y'all.